Welcome to the Boosting Business Breakthroughs podcast, where coaches gain the confidence, motivation, and expertise to make their next business breakthrough. I am your host, Lori Young, certified master marketer, business growth coach, and all-around truth teller. Breakthroughs can come with flashes of absolute clarity, sudden shifts in mindset, learning new skills, changes in habits, or anything else that changes the course of your coaching business. So if you're ready to be inspired and break through to your next level of growth, let's go. We are in for a super good treat today. I have my guest, Jackie Senatore, with me, and I'll introduce her in a few minutes. But what we're going to be talking about today is the 3 simple steps that you can take to manifest anything you want. So if you are, one of those kind of woo-woo people that believe in manifestation and clearing your energy and all that, you're going to love this. If you're not, I want you to still stay tuned because I personally have worked with Jackie. I've worked with her on her messaging for her website, and I've had the opportunity to experience her work, and it's really mind-blowing. And I truly believe in what she's doing. And so I just want you to take in everything that she has to teach us today. So I want you to just think about your own business right now. And if there's an area in your business that you feel stuck in, keep that in mind as we go through this show today, because Jackie is going to talk to you specifically about how do we get unstuck in our business? Like what creates that stuckness and how do we get out of it? So I think it's going to be good for everyone because everyone, including myself, gets stuck in business. And we are in this place of like, oh my gosh, like why won't this move? Like why won't this piece of my business move? Like what's going on? We're going to understand that today. So let me just formally introduce Jackie. Jackie Senatore is an abundance and mindset coach. I also really like to call her a manifestation coach because I do think she is really about manifesting things. But she is your guide to unlocking your inner potential and achieving holistic well-being. With over a decade of experience in personal development and energy healing, she empowers individuals to overcome challenges, heal emotional, mental, or physical pain, and manifest abundance in every aspect of their lives. Jackie's journey began when she conquered her own anxiety, delving deep into holistic and energy healing modalities like EFT, active meditation, and the emotion code. Today, she shares her transformative insights and healing techniques on her YouTube channel, helping countless viewers master their energy, gain confidence, and embark on a path of self-discovery, healing, and profound transformation. Join Jackie and tap into your infinite potential. So thank you, Jackie, so much for being here. It's been a little while that we've had to get this recording going. So I love your story. So why don't you just take a few minutes and talk to people about your story and how you came to be doing what you're doing today.
Yes. So first, thank you for that introduction. It's been you're such a journey with you and helping me uncover and how to speak what I do with people so that they can understand it. Because when you get into that energy work, and even if people have never been into it, it's what we create our life with. It's really how we're operating from the beginning. Everything you've ever created in your life comes with an alignment. So what I do for people or with people every day is help them get aligned with what it is that they want. So whether that's healing their body, which relates to their business, if we don't have health and vitality, we're vibrating at a low frequency to ask for more clients, for more money, for more success. Success really matches an energy. So I help people heal their bodies in that way. Relationship stress, which is also a huge factor in creating our abundance in our life and our business success. If our relationships are draining, that's going to drain our manifestation. And then working with people, like you said, in our growth cycle. So I like to think of when we get stuck in our business, it's just time to grow. It's time to
Mhm.
pivot. It's time to do something different. Or else we're kind of creatures of habit. We'll just keep doing the same thing over and over again. And how would we grow? Something has to stop or break down for us to say, okay, I'm stuck here. What's
Mhm.
next? What's new? So I
Right.
really help people tap into what that is.
Got it. Got it. So, talk to me a little bit about. We like to talk about business breakthroughs on this show, and that can be anything that has created a shift for you in your business. Tell me about a business breakthrough that you've had.
I've probably been doing this probably 15 or 16 years in very different ways, starting with EFT and the emotion code, body code. I worked with Dr. Bradley Nelson, who created the emotion code, and got to work with people all over the world because of him.
Mm,
And in really every part as he traveled the world, I was one of his staff practitioners. And why that was so great is because I got to experience different cultures, different people from different places, and saw that there was a really big pattern. Everybody wanted the same thing. Everybody wanted to feel loved, to feel fulfilled, to be healthy, be in relationships, and then ultimately have abundance in their life, contribute in some way.
right.
And for a long time, for many years, probably over a decade, it was, what's the problem? Let's fix it. You have
Mm,
knee pain, let's fix it. You have this, let's fix it. You're depressed, let's fix it.
mm-hmm.
And somewhere in the journey, I met a man named Dr. Donnie Epstein and Dr. John DeMartini, and I started studying human behavior. And then I got to blend human behavior with energy work and
Okay.
realized that the pain that we're in is actually the gift.
Mm,
And so the thing that you're challenged with right now, no matter what it is actually guiding you, is actually the fuel for who you're becoming. So I
got
sort of
it.
stopped everything and took a look at what I was doing. I don't want to take away people's fuel. I don't want to
Mm,
take away their anxiety. Because if
mm-hmm.
I took away their anxiety, they're never going to learn the message that the anxiety came to show them.
Right.
Or if we fix the relationship and we continuously have a pattern of blaming things outside of ourselves, we're
Mm-hmm.
robbing ourselves of the evolvement and the growth of who we're becoming. So somewhere in there, I switched my entire business model and stopped fixing people and
Mm-hmm.
started teaching people how to tap into their own pain and get the wisdom and gift from it.
Got it.
And so
And
from
I think,
there, I changed, everything.
yeah, I think if we're honest, like nobody really wants to be fixed, right? Because if we need to be fixed, then that means something's wrong with us, right?
Yes.
And I don't know, I don't like to say that there's anything wrong with us. There's just things maybe that are going on in our lives that are creating circumstances in our lives. And when we start labeling them as bad or wrong, there's a lot of judgment, involved, and I think it makes it more difficult to deal with it, right? I mean, I think it makes it more difficult to get past it because we spend too much energy. At least for me, like I spend too much energy, like blaming myself if I think I need to fix something. Blaming myself for something, and that's not really productive energy, right?
Yes. So as soon as we judge something, we right away get stuck. Whether it's
Right.
another person or ourselves, it stops the energy. And so one of the biggest things and one of the steps actually in manifesting is acceptance, in finding where it is that we are judging ourselves and shifting that, because that's where it'll make that energy flow. And that's where we'll get our answers from. If
Mm-hmm.
something's wrong, and most people will say, I'm stuck in this part of my business, I need it fixed, or I just want these headaches to go away, or I want, if only I had more money, then I wouldn't have this. So that's the sort of stuff for beliefs or places that people get stuck. That's an invitation to stop and know this is happening for you. And then I teach you the process on how to get why. What is it doing? What is it trying to show you? And it works every time of someone getting that light bulb moment of, I got it.
Right.
Yeah.
So let's talk about these three steps. And, I'm hoping that you can share some stories with us of
Sure.
just maybe different clients that you've worked with so that it makes sense. And I don't even have a problem with, sharing some of my own story, and you can coach me on,
Sure. I'm here. Let's do it. It's the best example anyway. Where are you stuck? Let's do it. Right.
So what is step number one when obviously we have to recognize that we are stuck or that we have something going on in our lives that we don't like, right?
Yes. So in order for something to be birthed or new, the old has to kind of break down or just not be working anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So I often tell people you don't grow from comfort. Nobody
Right.
is comfortable in their life and their business and gets up one day and it's like, I think I want to grow and have a challenge. It usually comes from some kind of breakdown, some kind of emotion, some kind of something's not working and it needs to change. Some of us listen quicker than others.
Mm-hmm.
I call it the feather brick or truck analogy of like, how much do we take before we're going to stop and listen? So the first thing in manifesting anything is first one is awareness.
Mm-hmm.
So what is it that you want? And you don't even have to be aware that you're so stuck or how you're stuck. You can just, I want, what would you love to have? And then as we bring that out, then we can tap into what is preventing you from having it? Where do you feel stuck? I
Mm-hmm.
love to go to the body and find where the energy is stored in your body instead of being in the mind, because our mind thinks we can think our way out of it, but it's usually something in our body that will help us identify what the unconscious is stuck in.
Okay, so let's just take an example for me, and I'll be completely vulnerable here.
Sure.
I think one of the areas that I feel like I am stuck in is my weight. I am not what you would consider like overweight by any shape of the imagination. I have, you know, menopausal weight that is stubborn, that doesn't, I have always been slim and fit my entire life. And I hit my 50s and that has shifted for me and that has changed. And so I probably have an extra 5 to 7 pounds on me that drives me insane. It's like, why can't I go back to my 30 or 40-year-old weight?
Because then we wouldn't get the lessons the weight is here to show us. No.
Okay, what
So,
is that? Please tell me what that lesson is.
yes, yes. So, and we can. So, I have some ideas. I'm going to do this in two ways. Are we still good on the audio just for the?
Yes, I
Okay.
think so.
All right. Okay. So, weight overall, for me, if we look at it as an energy, because our body is complete energy. Everything, if
Mm-hmm.
we broke our body down, you were going to see it's complete energy. And it's our thoughts and beliefs and patterns that shape our body, that shape our life.
Mm-hmm.
So if everything is energy, why is weight there? It could be a belief system that when you go through menopause or 50s, you heard that somewhere and you took on somebody else's information. Weight for me that I see common across the board and working with hundreds, probably into the thousands of people with weight, it's a popular one, is not letting go of something. So for you, you mentioned 5 to 7 pounds. So there's about 5 to 7 pounds of heaviness in your life that you're taking on that not letting it go. Could be
Mm.
business stuff, could be partner stuff, could be kids stuff, could be whatever it is. I feel like I have to hold this together for that person. I'm going to be strong and I'm going to hold it together. And
Mm.
so it's just about getting to let things go, to
Got it.
not feel like you have to solve other people's problems, that you don't have to hold on to it. So the more someone has weight to lose, like if it's 20 pounds, 100 pounds, you will know the assessment of how much they feel they have to hold on to other people's stuff for them.
Mm. Yeah, that's interesting when I think about kind of like my own life about, I'm very much a giver in my life, in my relationships, in my business. And I know one of the things that I hold on very close to is feeling responsible for the success of my clients' businesses.
So
It's like,
in Clear, I actually have a whole entire section for just that responsibility for other people to heal, to be successful. And when we do that, it actually stops it because now our energy is attached. Doctors do this.
mm,
Any patient doctor relationship, if somebody is responsible and makes it part of their identity for you to heal or for you to be successful, there's already, it's not like you can't heal or you can't be successful, but there's a dissonance in energy.
got it.
And so when someone comes to me, and I've had all kinds of really wild, interesting things people have brought to me, and the right away, if I feel attached to it, I do my own work. It's not
Mm,
my job for them to heal or even become successful. That's their calling. And if they want it, my job is to hold that space. And if I'm the person on their path, great. And then
I
if they
love
don't
that.
heal or get anything from me, I'm okay with that too. And when I'm in neutral with that, people just feel they'll say people will say kind of like a pattern of, I just feel so calm with you. I just feel not judged. I have no expectation. Well, let's see
Hmm.
what happens. Let's see what happens when we close our eyes and focus on our body and focus on the pain that the weight has you feel.
Right.
If you don't feel good enough, I don't feel attractive, I don't feel whatever, and you sit with that, let's see what happens. Let's see what insights you get.
Got
And
it.
when we take that pressure off, amazing things happen.
That's cool. I like
Yeah.
that. So, first step is awareness,
Yes.
right? So,
What do you
obviously,
want?
right, what do you want? And I kind of talked about, we're just kind of walking through my situation as an example. Second step is what?
So, awareness is two things. So, what do you want? And then where are you stuck? And getting to feel where it is in your body. And
Okay.
we do that by, if I told you, if you were never going to lose this weight, you're still okay.
Hmm.
If you never get the thing that you want, if you stay exactly the way you are, you're still loved and supported and blessed. And usually, when you say that, it will bring up an emotion in someone, it'll bring up a
Mm,
heat in someone. If you never lose those 7 pounds, you're completely okay.
right.
And then you feel, where is that body response? Do you feel it in your shoulders, your back, your stomach, your throat, your heart? Where is that place that's being triggered?
Got it.
And then we go to the second step of manifesting, which is acceptance.
Hmm.
So we want to move into, weight isn't wrong. The 7 pounds isn't wrong. So as
Hmm.
soon as we judge something and we make it wrong, we stop the flow of the energy. Energy just wants to move and it has something to show you. So if you're holding on to 7 pounds, there's something in your life that you're not letting go of. And we want to go to your body and get your information onto what that is.
Right.
Could be something small, could be somebody that, wants to have a nice dinner with their spouse and their kid keeps calling with all of their problems, and they don't want to hold all of their child's problems, but they do because they
Hmm.
feel like, well, I'm the mother. I have to take it. She doesn't know what to do. Maybe she'll crumble if I don't. They're
Mm,
actually holding the weight of their child. And
right.
so it's scary when I guide someone through. I had this mother, I'll give you a story. I had this mother that came into Clear, which is it's a 6-week program. It was done a little bit different before. And she came in for a rash and stomach issues. She was a massage
Okay.
therapist. She had 4 kids at home. None of them had jobs. None of them were moving out. They were all adults. And she had these rashes and stomach problems. Well, we went through the process fixing or looking at what was her rash and stomach problems. By
Hmm.
the end, I think it was 6 weeks. So by the end of maybe week 4, one of
Hmm.
her kids actually came on the call and said, I don't know what you did to my mother. She is so much nicer. She is loving. She just has more energy. And by the 6th week, all 4 of her children, without her prompting, all got jobs.
Oh, wow.
And she's like, how did that happen? And it was her letting them go in that
Mm,
meditation exercise and knowing they can handle whatever it is. They're loved, supported by the planet. They have their own path. It's not mom's job to hold this container for everybody. And so her rashes went away. It was showing her that there's an irritant and her body just didn't want it anymore.
Okay.
But it's a process to let go. I'm a mom too. It's a process to let go of our kids' heaviness. And it takes, certain tools and processes of letting them go off on their own and be okay. And then the weight just goes. You're not carrying it anymore.
Right. I like that. Yeah.
Yes.
So, step one, awareness. Step two is acceptance. Like, talk to me, I guess, just a little bit about how do you come to that place of acceptance when it's something that you don't, I mean, I just think about this mother, for instance, that you're talking about, that is irritated, clearly irritated because her kids are not getting a job. She's like, oh my gosh, like, when are they going to fly the nest, right?
Yes, but the thing is, she didn't know that. She didn't know that's what was behind her pain. All she knew was that there was this irritating rash on her that wouldn't go away no matter what doctor, no matter what cream, no matter what cleanse. And it's getting the awareness and then going to acceptance of, if this rash never changes, if it never goes away, I'm okay. And she's like, I want to cry every time you say that. I just feel emotional. And then we go through the process of what meditation is, or active meditation, of relaxing around that area and letting it move through, giving it permission to be there. It's not wrong and it has information. So she actually healed it by following that energy in her body and healing it. And then all of a sudden her outside world changed. She didn't even know she wanted her kids to get a job. And then they all got jobs and she's like, they're all moving, they're all leaving. And I just feel lighter and freer and less responsible.
Okay.
So sometimes we go to our body with the symptom first and we don't accept it from our mind. Because if I said to somebody that was struggling in their business, if you never get any more clients, if you never hit 7 figures, you're okay.
Right.
They feel angry. They feel something like, I can't be okay unless I have that. And then we go and we use that part in the body and we follow the meditation practice of relaxing around that energy and allowing it to move through and getting the insights. And once we do that, all of a sudden the thing shows up for them. I have countless probably stories, dozens of them, of people who want a relationship that don't feel okay if they never have one. We move through the sadness, we move through the energy of it. And there's so many that day, hours later, they met the person in a bar, they met the person going for a walk. And they're like, how did that come in? It came in through acceptance of where you're at isn't wrong. And if it doesn't ever change, you're still okay.
Right. Yeah.
So you can do it for weight. She's like, oh,
It's okay. Yeah. It's okay if I'm 5 to 7 pounds overweight, right? It's okay.
And then find the response of when you say that. It'll upset something in your body of, Jackie, that's not okay.
Right.
I'm like, wait, where is that? Like, I start sweating, I start getting mad. And that's the energy that we work with all the time, because that's the answer to your transformation.
Okay. Tell me, maybe you don't have anything off the top of your mind. We're talking to coaches who are trying to grow their business, right? Let's say they're stuck and cannot figure out how to get more clients or how to reach a certain income level. Any stories that you can share about how you've helped shift someone in that kind of a situation?
Dozens. My Clear program was actually originally called Clear for Coaches. And that is the exact thing that I help people do, because we get in our own way. There's fear and there's need. As soon as you need clients, you need to reach 6 figures, you need to make rent, you right away have dissonance in your attraction to it. So there was a woman, Cindy, she was a medical internal medicine doctor, and she had been trying to get a trauma program. She realized that a lot of people come into the hospital have unresolved trauma. And she went in to get trained in trauma, and she wanted to launch this coaching trauma program. But Cindy couldn't get one client. Not one person in the entire year signed up for it. She did every course, everything imaginable. So I think it was on week 2 of working with her that I worked with her directly. And if she never got a single client, that she was okay. And that's usually
Mm-hmm.
the statement that triggers it. So we worked with
Right.
the energy behind it. And by the end of the week, on one single day, she had 3 people sign up. She had a $7,500 day. And she called me and said, "What did you do? How did that happen? What was it?" And it was just getting into alignment that I'm okay. I'm not in need of this client. So
Mm-hmm.
as soon as we're in need of clients, we right away we repel them.
Right.
And so for me in my own business, if I want to launch something, I want to get grounded and then find the place that if nobody comes, I'm okay. I
Mm-hmm.
want it. I don't need it. And then you get to relax. And then the next step in that process would be surrendering it. And when you do that, it's all of a sudden it just somebody calls, somebody comes out of nowhere. You don't even have to send out an email sometimes. Someone's like, "Oh, I've
Right.
been meaning to come in." And what that is that you turned your frequency of it. So it works every time. It's just if you do the work and if you stay present with it and find that fear that if it never happens, you're okay.
Mm-hmm.
And it comes in every time. And it sounds simple from the mind, but if you really sat with it right now and thought to yourself, if I never get a single client and I lose my whole business,
Right.
I'm okay. You're going to feel
Oh
some
yes.
kind of intensity.
Yes, I was talking to one of my best friends about that, of just about my business. And I said to her, I said, the financial level in my business is attached to how I feel about my success as a person. And I know that this is a big thing for me. And it's like for the life of me, it's like, I know it's not, I know I'm still successful. I know I'm still a great person. I know I'll be okay. But there is something, and I'm sure it goes very deep into childhood, right? But there's just something that's attached to my level of monetary or financial success determines whether or not I'm a successful person.
So, something really interesting, and if I can share with you an insight on that, a personal
Mm-hmm.
insight for you. Sometimes we think we know what the direction is. Our mind is like, I'm so certain it's this. And what I call them, and myself too, I'm in the boat with everybody else in the human experience of we
Mm-hmm.
create a story of what we think it is.
Right.
And if it's not changing by the thing that we think it is, it's usually not the thing that we think it is. And
Got
so one of the
it.
gifts, as you know, that I have is right from very early on in age, I could read people's energy. And I
Mm-hmm.
would know things and not know how I knew things. And for a long time, it caused me really bad anxiety because I didn't know what I was doing until I was older. And I could realize that I'm feeling other people's stuff. And
Mm-hmm.
now I know how to energetically separate. So it calmed that down. But what comes up for you is why I say that is everyone's gonna be like, how did she know that? It's fear of change. So something in our business is going a certain way and we're
Mm-hmm.
successful. And you really do. You're congruent when you say you feel like you are successful. You are.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Now it's like, well, I've been successful in this for so long. The fear and the uncertainty of life going completely different is terrifying.
Mm-hmm.
So terrifying that I'd rather ignore it almost and think that it's this, or I'm going to go play in this realm over here, when really it could just be surrendering and asking universe, God, whatever you believe in, your higher self, show me the path,
Mm-hmm.
show me what's next.
Mm-hmm.
And then listening without judgment if it starts to show you, because it'll answer you. It's just
Right.
whether or not we are in receptivity of hearing it and of listening. And then it comes
Mm-hmm.
in and we'll find ourselves being like, no, not that. I would never do that. But when you get into a place of center, and it usually takes repetition. This is why I do it every week with people, because it's not just like a one time put yourself in
Right.
the hot seat. It's start to play with the idea of, okay, I want more success.
Mm-hmm.
I want to go to my next level. I want to feel fulfilled. I've been doing this for a long time. There's something, I feel that calling of what there's more.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to listen and I'm going to get into my body, because a lot of the times when we get afraid like this, we kind of disconnect from our body and we go into our mental really strong.
Right.
So I want to get back into my body. I want to feel where the heck I'm so afraid. I'm so afraid of losing it all. I'm so afraid of things never getting better. We heal that. And then we get to a place of neutral, what I call it, like centered and present and grounded. And then we can go in, okay, universe, bring it in better than I can imagine. Because what's meant for you personally next is probably not even in your awareness yet.
Right. Right.
And it
Yeah.
takes that alignment for it to show up. And once it shows up, you're going to be like, God, that's amazing. I didn't get into energy work because I thought I was going to be an energy work. I was an actress. I had no idea this was opening up.
Mm-hmm.
And it comes from someone saying, read this book, read this book, read this book.
Right. Yeah, it's funny because like a few different things, come up for me as you're talking. One is, I see a lot of coaches. I just know from business, just being around business for years and years and years, that, oftentimes in business, business growth requires a pivot. And oftentimes, one, we don't know what that pivot needs to be. Two, we don't want to let go of the old way of doing business, and you think about like your offers and like what you've offered to somebody. And if you need to completely pivot, like what that pivot like requires of you, there's a lot of work that goes into a pivot. I'm working right now with a new client who for years she like is called the angel lady, and she calls in angels, and she's worked as a medium, and she's highly an intuitive, and she's highly good at it.
Mm-hmm.
And she would have people like every lines like just like cannot wait to work with her. But she reached a point in her life where it was like, this is not what I'm supposed to be doing. I am drained. This is no longer fun for me. I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing, but this is not it.
Yes.
And it literally, like, she put everything on hold. Most people do not have
Surrender.
Surrender, what's the word I'm looking for? Courage, the courage to listen to what the universe is telling us and actually like do something with it.
Yes.
And for her, she's in the process now of like shifting. And even now, as I'm helping her redefine her new brand, she's like, I find myself like trying to fall back into the comfortable, right? Into the safety and what I know. And I'm like, no, you need to be, we are talking about the brand that you are envisioning. Like, what is the new brand that you are stepping into?
And it can be somewhere, it could be somewhere in between. We can go completely 180 like that and then integrate later of it's just about allowing, surrendering and allowing. And why, you speak to the courage thing because courage isn't in the one moment. When I designed that Meditation Mondays with you, it was, what do I see the most successful people I've ever worked with have in common? And it wasn't, Jackie, I'm going to give you 3 classes, 6 classes, 4 one-on-ones, and I want to have that courage and I'm going to change everything in my life. Some people do. One time, that's all they needed. They're off to the races until it's something else. But what the most successful people had in common, I mean, the people that went from not one client to 7 figures that I worked with, that got married when they were single and that overcame a huge health challenge, was repetition. Wasn't it was consistency and repetition. And so I designed the program for, you don't have to do this today, but do it with me once a week. And when you look back in 5 weeks, your family will start to say things. You'll realize, oh my gosh, I don't do that anymore. Clients are just coming in and I don't even advertise, or it just takes like working out.
Right.
And that way you don't go from, hey, I'm in my business where you're at right now, And I was going to speak to the pain. So why some people change and why some people don't when they get that pivot
Mm-hmm.
inkling
Mm-hmm.
is from how much pain they're in. So the
Mm.
more pain, the more we're going to do something radical like that.
Got
When
it.
we're comfortable and we feel the calling, but the calling is scary and I'm still okay the way I am, my spouse
Mm-hmm.
can support me, there's still some things, there's not enough pain that makes us
Mm.
go, you know what? I'm ready. When the
Right.
pain gets strong enough, that's usually when people find me and they're going to,
Right.
I've tried everything. I have a
Right.
key phrase that I'm like, they're ready for me, is when they tell me I've tried everything and nothing's worked.
Right.
And that's usually, I'm like, I know I'm a kind of like a key turner. It's like, well, everything is set up. You want to turn the key, and the turn the key is actually the third step, which is the permission of
Okay.
having what you want. For you, it's going to be a radical change like that. That's why that story came to your mind. It's
Mm-hmm.
not having to throw out your entire business, but it's just the complete surrender of letting it all go in meditation. You don't have to do it in real life yet. We practice these things in energetics first. And then as you do it, life will start to give you validation in I'm going to say, drop your whole business and clients, Lori, down your grounding cord and feel what that feels like. Bring in your
Mm.
light and bring in better than you can imagine. And then something shows up for you in your day to give you that validation of keep going.
Mm-hmm.
And something else will come in and something else will come in. And then you'll show up on a call with me one day and be like, I'm so freaking ready. Let's let go of the whole thing.
Okay.
And all of a sudden you get into what you called that courage, that brave, that you'll hear it on the radio, you'll read it in a magazine, somebody will come up to you and your idea will be born. But I don't think it comes from one to the other like that. I think it's
Right.
like
It's a process.
it's like exercising. It's like, I can tell
Right.
you what to do to get abs, but you're not going to get abs by 4:00. You're going to know how to get abs by 4:00. And then it comes with, consistency and repetition.
Right. Right.
Right.
Yeah. And the last step being the permission, right? Permission to let it in. Anything that like gets in the way of that
Oh yeah.
step actually happening?
100%. One thing. It
Talk to me about it.
all comes down to fear.
Fear. Okay.
One of my favorite teachers, this man named John Holden, he made a statement that used to drive me crazy, really upset me every time I heard it. And that's how I knew. And now it's become so funny that I see the real truth in it again and
Uh-huh.
again and again, which is if there's something that you're wanting that's not happening, there's a part of you that's too afraid to have it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, so John, you mean that I'm afraid to have $1 million? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the block of permission. It's fear. When
Okay.
people I work with, usually relationship is a very easy example to use. If they want a relationship, I really want a relationship, I'm single, I want to get married, all these things. And if we do it in meditation and we bring in that relationship, they right away close down and like, no, 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 no. I don't want to be hurt. No, actually, I don't have
Mm.
time. Same thing with women wanting to get pregnant. I want to have a baby. I really want one. I'm doing all the things. It's not happening. They're scared. There's a part of
Mm-hmm.
them that's afraid. I'm afraid to get fat. I'm afraid my partner will leave me. I'm afraid to lose my career. I'm afraid there's unconscious fears
Mm-hmm.
that block ourselves from giving permission. So when I get somebody in the hot seat, what we call it in Meditation Mondays, and I'm working with them energetically, and I get them set up, letting go, they're feeling good, and then we bring in what they want, they'll tell me I can feel it won't go through my throat. It won't go through my stomach.
Mm.
So see if you can visualize bringing what you want all the way through your body. There was
Okay.
a lady that was a best-selling author, and she wanted the next step in her career.
Okay.
And when I said, what is it that you want? Throw it out there. The awareness first.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I want 40 people to sign up a month. I said,
Okay.
okay, let's bring that in. 40 people. Feel what it feels like for 40 people to sign up for your program right now.
Mm-hmm.
And her body freaked out. Like, I have kids, I'm a single mom. I actually couldn't handle that. So here she is trying to manifest 40 people. And she's thinking, why isn't it happening? Because your body is terrified that you would lose being a single mom. How would you do your kids' schedule, your spouse time, your whatever it is?
Right.
And then we'll find the block. which is good because then you can say, okay, you know what? I don't actually want 40 people. What is
Okay.
it that I do want? I want to do a once a month Q&A call with 100 people, and I can do that. How
Right.
does that feel going through your body? And she's like, yeah, that feels good. And then she does it.
Got it. Got it.
Yeah.
This stuff is so good. I love this.
So good.
So you have, I think everyone has at least a general idea of what those steps are.
Yes.
As you can probably imagine, it's not as easy as like, okay, I know the steps, so now I can just make it happen.
Yes.
Like you said, it
You gotta do
takes,
this.
yeah, you've got to do the steps and you have to do the steps repetitively. So let everyone know like how they can work with you and how they can begin to manifest the things that I'm going to say they think they want, because sometimes that it changes, right?
Yes.
So
Sometimes.
yeah.
And then I like to cherry that with or better. I think I want a relationship or better. What's best for me, universe? Show me that.
Okay.
And so it kind of gives ourselves like the universe knows what your heart wants. And it's the feeling of what you want. So it's not so much the money, it's the feeling of money. If there's a better way for you to have that, bring it in.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's
Absolutely.
two ways. One way is if somebody's ready to jump right in and come into Meditation Mondays, I offer the first month for $1. $1, so they invest something in it for the first month. They can come in once a week every Monday, join me live, or they can check in anytime they want to the meditations. So they log into a portal. There's 52 meditations, and they can start doing the process on repetition and working through just different topics of whatever speaks to them.
Tell me a little bit. I think this is important for listeners to
Sure.
know, because when people hear meditation,
Yes.
they automatically think, "Oh my gosh, I've tried meditation before. I can't do this. I can't sit still for it." Talk to me a little bit about how your meditation is different.
Those people are perfect for me because I was one of them. I was, when everyone's like, meditate, do you try meditation for anxiety? I'm like, if one more person tells me to meditate, because meditation can mean many things. And some people do, they quiet their mind, they go to their breath, and that's great for them. I am so type A and I'm such a big doer. And I'm like, I can do 100 push-ups. It's going to get me my result. Just tell me what I got to do and I'm going to do it. And so this is active meditation where I guide you through a series like what we did today, where you're actively finding that energy, then teaching you what to do with it, how to ground it. And the most exciting part is you see it in your life that day. You see it in the change by the end of the call. You feel more energized. I had this one woman that she was estranged from her husband for 15 years and no communication. He moved to a different country and she was just on the meditation call a few weeks ago and she let him go and did all the things following along. And he texted her right in the middle of it.
Wow.
And she wrote into me and I'm like, it happens all the time. And so it's like a fun meditation. It's for people who really like to achieve things. I always have the high achievers in my classes.
Right.
So that's why I also make it, there's a sampler for that energy shifter. It's just come try it. And if it's
Right.
not for you, there's nothing you lost. Maybe if you even get one thing for it and you come as you
Yeah.
are. So you don't.
How can you like go wrong by spending $1 to try it for a month, right?
Yes. I think the resistance is people aren't ready. If they're not wanting to try it, it's not because of the dollar. It's not because of the $20 a month or whatever it is. It's because when they come close to it, they're like, I'm going to get the answer and I'm not ready to have it yet.
Got it.
And those people, I give full permission, come back when you're ready.
Right.
It's okay that we're not ready. It's like, I want that. But then when I go near Jackie, I start feeling it. I'm like, okay, I'm not going to go. I'm not going to do it. I'm the turnkey one. So when you're ready to turn the key, we will turn
I love it.
Yeah.
So I will put the link to the Meditation Mondays membership. And I know it's a great program because I've worked personally with Jackie on helping to develop that. And just the little free energy shifter that she has. I will put the link to that in the show notes as well. So this has been awesome. Like the stories have been great. I I love this. I think that I'm hoping that everyone that listened like learned a lot, or at least just started thinking about their own lives and what they want and what's getting in the way of them having the permission to have what they want, what's blocking their energy. So I always like to end the show on a completely different note, and that is just to ask, what like TV show or podcast or book are you currently binging?
I listen to a lot of podcasts. I don't watch TV so much. So, as far as like a TV show that came out of nowhere, was that show Suits on Netflix.
Oh,
It was
okay.
like an
I've heard
older
about that.
show. Gosh, I could not put this thing down. And one episode to the next, it hooked me. So my mind got really intrigued by what is it that they're doing that's making me really not be able to stop and think about it. And it's such a good show. It's such a good show of really making you think and think about things in a different way. And so that's
Okay.
definitely one, a really good book.
We're going to have to check that one out. I've heard a lot of good things about Suits. I've heard a couple of people that have said, I have a hard time getting into Suits. Why is everyone so into this? Like, I can't get into it. So I'm kind of always like, should we try it? Should we not? It's a big investment. There's quite a few seasons, right?
Oh my gosh. I was so thankful when it was over. It was taking up an enormous amount of time in my life. I'm not a binger. I'm not a TV person. So it was a very different thing for me. Yep.
And what's your favorite podcast? Just like, what do you really, really love?
You know, it's funny. I let podcasts come into my life when someone's like, hey, you should check out this episode of this person. So I listen to different things. I'm really into business building. So I like learning how to expand. I like the Expansion podcast with Lacey Phillips. I like Mel Robbins' shows sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
I like going to Graham Cochran's stuff of learning how to build businesses. It's very
Okay.
interesting to me of how can we help more people on the planet heal in a greater way. So that's kind of my interest right now.
Got it. So thank you so much for being here. It's been a huge pleasure. And I'm very grateful for you.
I'm grateful for you too. And thank you for being part of everything, even the energy shifters. So people want to check out that one. That is going to, if they felt anything on the call today, they can actually go right now and listen to the 15-minute energy shifter and then get the answer that we spoke about today on the call.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's a wrap on today's episode. Thanks for listening to the Boosting Business Breakthroughs podcast. Want to hear more business breakthrough ideas? I'll be back next week with a new episode to help you grow your coaching business. If you enjoyed listening, make sure you subscribe, leave us a rating, and tell all your coach friends where to find us. Head over to boostingbusinessbreakthroughs.com to learn more. Thanks for listening, and remember, your next business breakthrough is waiting for you.